Hey everybody, it's Travis. This episode is an actual phone call that I had with Shayne that I was talking to him a couple days ago just to check up on him and to see if he's doing okay and make sure his family's doing okay. I've tried to tweak the audio as best I could, so I apologize if the sound quality is not to the level that you're used to while listening to this podcast. On that note, enjoy the show.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your hosts, Travis Holmes and Shayne McManus.
Travis.
Shayne!
Screaming.
How are you?
Well, let's find out how you are.
I don't want to wake the baby, so I don't want to scream.
I'll wake the baby.
You said don't scream.
Oh, how are you?
I'm well. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
Good. You drinking?
Of course. Duh. It's past 12 o'clock on Thursday.
I figured you'd be doing with them stupid New Year's resolutions.
Give me a fucking break. Actually, you know what? My New Year's resolution, personally, I never really told anyone this. I told my wife this. Is to go through my computer and just clean out the excess fat. Like I've got all these different files, and every time I have to go to look for something on my computer, you know, I have to open up this file and open up this file and then search and then look for this file. So for the last week, I've been going through my computer and just getting rid of files that, you know, I look at it. If it says 2022 on it, put it in a file, put it in a folder somewhere, and put it on my external hard drive. I don't need that shit on my computer. So
I'm not a file person. I'm terrible at unzipping files and creating. What are you trying to do, Bella? Creating files, and it just doesn't work for me.
Well, you have to understand my situation. You know, I've got, you know, the three podcasts I'm trying to keep track of, and there's a video portion, there's an audio portion, and then there's a raw portion, and then there's, you know, a raw this, and then edited this, and so I have to keep all that kind of separate.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I'm just not good at files and emails, and you know, if I sat down and messed with it long enough, I'd pick it back up again. But I don't know. Once the iPad came out, that was all I needed. That's just too simple. That's good for me. I don't need anything else.
I watched things on my pad, my digital paper pad.
Well, and you can do more.
Oh, I know. She's got I don't know, the latest Samsung or whatever. You know, it's a 11.5-inch pad, but you know what she plays? She plays friggin' slot machine games. That doesn't win. Oh, look, I won 4 billion coins. I'm like going, does that translate into actual money? No, but I get another free spin. I'm like going, oh, Jesus Christ. Make me some money on that thing.
That's what Stephanie does. I mean, she plays that bingo clash.
I think that's probably I think she plays something close to that, so.
Well, I mean, and you can make some, well, it's rigged. If you don't put money into it, then they're not going to let you make any money.
Right.
But it's impossible even if you earn any money, it goes into a PayPal account, but it's impossible to cash it out. They won't let you cash it out.
Well, I think the minimum, like normally they'll say, you know, you need to have $10 in your account before you can cash it out. So when it hits like 10:01, then you cash it out. Or some of them will say you need at least $50 in this account before you can cash it out. So that's how they get you.
Oh, well, but there are people who are complaining that they have hundreds and thousands of dollars in there. I think probably spent thousands of dollars, but the cash out, it will not let them, won't give them their money. So they're complaining.
Rat bastards.
I play Willy Wonka slots.
on the tablet?
No, it's on my phone.
Oh.
So I have $4 trillion worth of worthless.
might as well buy Zimbabwe money and just.
I mean, you can't cash this stuff out. There's nothing you can do with it, and you have to pay to play.
Yeah,
I
don't understand that. You know, something I was going through when I sold the blue Silverado, and I put, you know, I said, babe, what do you want me to do with all this money? I'll just put it into our account and stuff. I'm like, well, let's pay off some credit cards or something like that. Yeah, whatever. So I said, well, you know, let me have access to the credit card accounts because she's got them in her name. That way it kind of separates just in case, shit hits the fan. My credit is good. At least one of them, someone in the house has good credit score.
Mhm.
I said, so let me access that. So I started accessing that. And I'm like, well, what is this $2,300 on a credit card? And I'm looking at like the state. I'm like, what is she buying with all this stuff? Shayne, no lie. She spent $2,300 on one of those apps on free spins or whatever. And I said, babe, not for nothing. I love you. You can do whatever you want with your money and stuff like that. I said, but putting $2,300 on the credit card to play these games, and her eyes lit up. She had no idea that when she hit like the, play, buy 10 rounds and buy 10 rounds, she didn't realize, she thought she was using the in-game credits. And yeah, I said, babe, this is $2,300. She's like, oh my God. She's like, oh man. I'm like, oh. So now every time she plays something, I like watch over her shoulder. I'm like, this is not costing us money, is it? Not costing us money, is it? But yeah, they got her just because, it's easy just to hit that screen over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what's going on, then those things are really easy to. And can you imagine kids?
Oh yeah, you
screwing kids over.
Well, you hear stories left and right about kids, running up a $4,000 bill on, mommy's iPad because they want to watch another episode of, Bluey or something like that. Which my episodes of Bluey are totally different than the kids' version of Bluey, but still.
What is Bluey?
It's
a movie. That movie they play on Epstein Island.
Yeah, I think it's a dog that's named Blue, EY. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a kid. I'm not a child, Shayne. I keep telling myself that. I'm not a child.
You brought it up, not me. You're the cartoon watcher.
Right.
Well, good. Glad you're doing good.
Yeah. Everything's
as far as I am concerned, I'll put it to you this way.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen episodes of Wild Kingdom or watched any kind of videos of animals out on the Serengeti with the
Mutual
lion?
of Omaha?
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen where a lion catches something?
Yeah, he kind of hits the butt of the gazelle. The gazelle kind of spins around, and then it tries to get up again. But by that time, the lion or lioness has jumped on top of it.
Uh-huh. And then it'll fight for a little bit.
For a little bit.
And then it's like, I'm screwed.
Give in to the beast.
Yeah, so it just lays there and gets eaten alive. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, go ahead and chew.
Here's my arm. Take my body, my flesh.
just make it quick. Don't play around with me.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of giving in the hand that I'm dealt. So I'm just doing the best I can with it.
Good. Well, I say good, but it's not a good life to live. But unfortunately, the people that you're taking care of, you're trying to give them a better life to live. That deal.
Yeah, but that doesn't always mean there's a reward for that. You would think, well, I'm doing good. That means I'm going to get good in return. Yeah, my life doesn't work that way. It doesn't always work like that, mister.
Mm-hmm.
But just tired. I mean, when I told you yesterday there's 8 appointments. Yeah. Between this week and next, I wasn't kidding.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I told Amy, and I said, I kind of talked to Shayne the other day. She, oh my God, how's she doing? I said, well, and I read the feed, our text messages back. She's like, oh man, she's like, just let them know that, I understand. And because don't forget, her mom, went through the whole cancer and stuff when she was like, 15 years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She lost her mom when her mom was 16, when she was 16. So for almost a year and a half, she went through the whole thing as far as, her being in the hospital and taking care of her. And then, she succumbed to her illness. So, yeah.
What kind of cancer was it?
Well, her mom passed away at the age of 46 or something like that. Liver cancer, but I mean, I guess she was a heavy drinker, but to die at liver cancer at 47 or even in the late 40s, I don't know what that level.
Well, just probably depending on how long she's been a heavy drinker. I mean,
Well, Christ, Shane, you and I have both been drinking since we were 12, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I take a break on Sunday.
Well, that's the least you could do for our father.
I used to take a break on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back.
Not as much anymore. You take it where you can get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting bored with drinking. Does that make sense?
No, doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I still love the taste of beer, but I don't know. There's just something about it just kind of. I still want to have a drink every now and then. Just don't want to do it like I used to.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of responsibilities and stuff. I know if there's someone sick in the house. I know there's been times where I'm like going, okay, I can't do this because I've got a responsibility in the household. Whether it be at the time, her dad at one time, and even living down in Florida. I mean, there's you have to be ready for that call.
Well, we were sitting there figuring this up the other day, and so there's 168 hours in a week. Of those 168 hours, 92 of them belong to me to care for her. There's 92 hours out of the week that there's not a nurse here. Now, some of it Stephanie helps. The majority of it is overnight. But that's 3/4 almost, a nurse not being here. And then when they are here, dealing with her dad.
Yeah.
Or I'm dealing with, still dealing with her. I have to help the nurse, get her in and out of the bed, and we got to. I mean, not to get off on everything that, is going on with her, but.
You got the crane system still working?
Oh, dude.
The McManus crane?
Everybody loves that thing. It has made life so much easier.
I'm sure.
And it's working perfect.
Well, good.
So that was the best $300 I've ever spent. But I think, as far as money goes, there's a government program that's going to pay me. It ain't going to be much. It's like $13 an hour.
For what?
To be her caregiver when there's no nurses here.
Oh, okay.
But I think all they'll pay is, what is it, like, for 40 hours?
40, like 40?
40.
Okay.
So whatever $13 an hour is times 40.
That usually rounds out to be, is tax taken out of that? Or is there?
I'm sure. Are you kidding me?
So that's
going to get their freaking money back.
So I think it's $32,000 or $33,000 a year. That's not too bad.
Somewhere in there. Honestly, this is, I told Stephanie, this is like, the hair on the back of our neck's getting long here, and so are our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got to think of retirement, somehow. It's still something that we need to address. Mm-hmm. And that's not easy to do. We've got a little bit of money in the bank, but it's not enough to retire off of.
Well, with her through her job, does she have like a 401k or any kind of like retirement funding, or does everything go into the bank and then spending on things?
Yeah, I mean, we just, she gets, I don't know what she does have 401k. I don't know what they match. But it's obviously not enough for her to get involved in it. Because if they're not matching anything, then you might as well just get yourself saved.
Well, if they do, traditionally, a small company would give you, they will match 50% up to 3%. So for every $3 you put in there, you get $1.50 back from the other company. And that's on average. I think Mac Papers was doing that. I think it might have been 4%, but so that's on average. So. Oh,
there's some places that don't match at all. They just.
Well,
savings account, tax-free savings account.
Well, a 401k is basically both individuals benefit because they benefit from the 1.5% that they put in as a tax write-off on their end, and then you put in your 3%, and that's done before taxes. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what hers is. She's not set up with anything, but we're just trying to figure some investments or something like that. I don't know anything about investing. I'd love to learn how to trade But I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just trying to figure our way. It ain't pretty, but we're doing it.
Well, good. Any progression on Kara?
I don't know. It's hard to tell with her. She has good days and bad days. There's some days you look at her and go, wow, she's making some progress, and the next day is like, ugh. So you don't ever really know.
Mm-hmm.
But there does seem to be some things coming back. She's starting to do some things that, she did. Cause I don't know if you know the whole story, but when we first brought her home last year, she was making a lot of progress.
Yeah, and then she had a stroke or something, and slapped her right back into when she was going through rehab.
Well, she had pneumonia.
Yeah, or I know it was something that set her back. Like she was getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden she got something, and it completely just shut her down again.
Yeah.
Like worse than before.
Yeah, it's worse than before. So, but she's healthy. All of her blood work comes back good. I mean, she's probably, other than the obvious, she's probably healthier than she's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take her to get a CT scan yesterday. All the swelling is gone in her brain finally. So it's just a matter of her brain rewiring now and healing. All the crazy stuff is over, so now it's just a waiting game. But she's got that's what's taking up a lot of time next week, is she's got evaluations where they're going to get her set up to start doing rehabilitation. It's outpatient, where I would have to take her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to, because it's like, 3-4 days a week, depending on what they decide. Could be between 2 and 4 hours a day, depending on what therapist she's seeing.
Now she's awake, like she sleeps and she's awake, or she has those, she's eyes are open, eyes are closed, eyes are open, eyes are closed, whether she's responding or not. But she does have somewhat of a, quote unquote sleep pattern. So I don't understand. You always see, like on the movies and the TV shows, they go, well, we have to do an induced coma. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they do an induced coma, for 9 months and let her completely, reset? You talk about the brain resetting itself. Why wouldn't they do that to have make her reset herself, and then let her, I guess, wake up naturally? I don't know how that works. I'm not a freaking doctor by any means. Not since the lawsuit, but
the drug-induced comas are only temporary, and that's just so swelling can heal or whatever. But you don't, and they use propofol to do it.
Ooh, that's scary.
So you can't, you can't keep them, sedated for that long. The thing about it, she was in a coma when this first happened.
Right.
But she only stayed in a coma, which they didn't ever think she was going to come out of a coma. She stayed in a coma for a week. And they say the faster you come out of it, the better chance you have of gaining more function and stuff.
Right.
But she just keeps defying the odds. She keeps doing, by all accounts, she shouldn't be here. She really should not be here.
Yeah.
But, she just keeps doing everything they say she's not going to do.
Not to be dark or anything, have you guys made arrangements just in case everything kind of goes, 90 degrees or 180 degrees, anything like that? Have you guys prepared for any of that stuff? Or are you just like, you're being optimistic and like, oh, no, we don't need to do that, this type deal, she's going to be all right? And
the only thing that we kind of have in place is a medical directive, like a DNR.
Do not resuscitate?
Yeah, I don't know what I think it's after. It's got some guidelines to it, and there's some life-saving procedures or so much time spent on it, and then there's a directive in there to stop at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But,
like 180 days, and if she's not better by 180 days after this, and
yeah, something of that nature. I'm not sure how it's worded. Stephanie did all that, but as far as we just take it one day at a time. Like I said, right now she's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's healthy and she's stable. Usually what gets them is like some sort of infection.
Yeah.
From bed sores.
Right.
respiratory infection, but she
sepsis or something thrown in there.
She's so well taken care of that she has 0 bed sores. She rarely gets infections. So, you know, if we were to send her off to a nursing home, I'll put it to you this way: if we were to send her off to a nursing home, it'd be a death sentence.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
You wouldn't send her to a nursing home. You would send her to, because nursing homes technically, they're one step. Like I would send my dad to a nursing home, and that would be one step before hospice. You know, they'll sit there and watch him, make sure he eats, make sure he, you know, poops and all that stuff. But he's got cognizance. You know, he can move around and do whatever he wants. A rehabilitation center would be my concern. Not my concern. Not that's my child, but I mean that would be where you would send her, a rehabilitation center where they would sit there in 24 hours a day, kind of like what you're doing now. But God knows the insurance and how much that costs per month, per week, per day would be just ridiculous.
That's why the government is really pushing to have people at home.
Yeah.
Because it's way cheaper. But it's called a long-term care facility, but it's still a nursing home. But the thing about it is Kara has a trach. She has that trach in, and there's only like 2 or 3 facilities in North Carolina that will even take people with those. So if we send her to one, it'd probably be 3-4 hours away.
Yeah, but you would think that would be a little bit more. I mean, a trach itself is not a complex thing.
It's really not.
For example, my mom had to go to dialysis, I think 3 times a week, and she at one time had a Shayne. It was as large as a love couch or a love sofa or a love seat or whatever. Like the machine was so large, it's like a huge treadmill in her bedroom that it's like, you know, blue cord goes to this bag and a yellow cord goes to this bag and the red cord goes to this bag, and she would sit there and do the dialysis at the house, and she would get the bags of sailing through the mail and stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, we've got a suction machine, and she has what's called a cough assist. So it hooks this hose up to her trach, and because the biggest thing with having a trach is mucus. Buildup of mucus, because she doesn't breathe through her nose. She still breathes through her nose, but most people don't breathe through their nose. So,
not those mouth breathers that we know.
Yeah. So she, because she's not breathing through her nose with all those little hairs and all the humidification that your nose provides for you.
Correct.
She builds up a lot of mucus. So this machine will actually blow air into her lungs and then suck it back out, and it sucks all that mucus out.
Oh, God. Thank God I'm not eating lunch.
Yeah, sorry. I should have. But that thing, you know, it's just like the rest of us. You cough and you clear all that stuff out of your lungs. But if you can't do that, then you end up with pneumonia.
I'm sitting here going, like, my throat, I'm like going, maybe I need to clear out my throat.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But there's times at night where I have nothing compared to what you're going through. But there's times at night where I wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I feel what I can only describe as like a web right at the base of my throat, and I, you know, cough, and Amy's like going, well, you need to take a allergy pill before you go to bed. I said, yeah. And then I've got freaking cotton mouth where I can't fucking move my tongue. It's like cardboard paper in my mouth. I literally cannot close my mouth because my mouth is so dry. It's like concrete solid open. Well, it's better than what you're going through. I said, is it really? Is it really, babe?
Yeah, it's easy to say that stuff when you don't have to deal with it.
Exactly.
But yeah, that machine keeps her from getting pneumonia, and keeps her. I hooked it up for myself because you can do it with a mask. And it is god-awful feeling. It's like somebody stuck an air hose in your lungs, blew them up, and then stuck a vacuum cleaner and sucked it all back out. So I was panicking. But she tolerates it. I mean, it's just something you got to get used to.
Does she tolerate it, or she has no choice?
Well, here's the thing about her. She will show them emotions. If she doesn't like something, she has facial expressions.
Does she moan or anything? I say moan, you know,
She can.
She can.
Make noises. Yeah, she can. She can make noises. She can cough on her own. I mean, it is just these little things. Like they said that she would be totally paralyzed and wouldn't be able to do anything.
Right.
But she can do things. So, you know, that potential for her to gain function is there. It's just going to take a long time.
Right.
And the only reason that they're, you know, saying give her a chance is because of her age. You know, it might take 10 years, but she'll only be 35 years old. So she'll still have plenty of life left out of her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be an old fart, but...
He'll be halfway dead.
But, you know, that's just, at this point, it's just giving her a chance. Because, you know, like I said, if you send her off to some sort of facility, whatever,
yeah,
she won't make it because they won't take care of her.
Not to the level of what they'll do, what the minimum government requires them to do.
Shit, Travis, she can't even get to the hospital. She came home from the hospital with bed sores because they didn't turn her. She lost 22 pounds because they didn't feed her. But just the hospital, I'm telling you, the medical system sucks. It just would not take care of her.
Now, is it the medical system? Because I know you're a veteran. Is it the medical and part of the VA, or no? Does she doesn't fall underneath that, or is it because that she's on government insurance? Because I'm assuming that's what she's on.
It's just the hospital itself, and this is Carolina's Medical Center.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a kind of a difference. You know, I mean, I don't know, but in my mind, I'm like going, okay, you know, I've got, you know, gold and platinum insurance, so if I go into the hospital, you know, I get a room right away, and they'll take the splinter out of my hand, and they'll bandage me up and give me all the good medicine and stuff. But then you got people like my dad who has absolutely no medical insurance at all, other than what the Medicaid or Medicare, whatever they try to sell you over the fucking phone. And he's got that, and he goes in there, and he's got to wait 7 hours, you know, to get a room or something like that, because just his insurance is not, you know, it takes so long or whatever that scenario is. You know, that's the way I look at it. And it's the same, you know, house. I'm sitting in one bed next to my dad, who's in the other bed over there. Not that that's happened. I'm just saying that I think insurance plays a big role in who gets seen first and priority type stuff.
Not supposed to, but I guess that's possible.
Hold on, guys. We'll be right back.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't hear that or see that behind the scenes.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. She's surprisingly gotten very good care. It's just the individual nurses were lazy at the hospital, and some were good and took care of them, but most didn't.
Yeah.
Because they've got too many patients to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not a good sign.
You know, it's one-on-one here. The nurses that we have, they're kind of like family now, so. They take really good care of her, and they like doing this. They like the one-on-one. They can't stand working in a hospital. So,
and I'm sure they probably, you know, are getting a better, you know, pay because they're like roadie nurses or whatever they're called.
Nope, you get paid more in the hospital. The least paid nurse, you can have an RN that works in a doctor's office. They get paid the least.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next step is a home health care nurse.
And
then it, you know, just goes up the tier from there. It's weird.
Yeah, it's eye-opening, but you know, I know that it's funny. Anytime like one of my family members went into a hospital or went into the whatever, you've got that one person in the family that knows all the ins and outs, you know, of the hospital and all that stuff, and it's only because they've been through the whole entire system once before, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that one person, oh, well, you need to make sure that this is going on. And that person in my family was Aunt Shirley. And I told you a story about my Aunt Shirley and stuff, only because, you know, she, you know, put her sister in the hospital. She put her mom and dad in the hospital and knows everything. She actually worked in a retirement home, what'd you call it before, nursing care facility?
Long-term care?
Yeah, long-term care. Yeah. Oh, in downtown Orlando, Florida, and she knows the ins and outs of all that stuff. So, like, if my mom ever when my mom went into the hospital, she was like, "On okay, we need this A, B, C, D, and F. If you can't do this, I need to talk to this person. You know, I need to talk to the registered this person." And so, but it's weird that everyone has that one family member that knows the ins and outs because they've gone through it, and it's sad that that's the way it is. You know. you have to ask for these things. If you don't ask for them, they just go, okay, John Doe, there you go. This is your room. Doctor will see you in, when he's done with his golf game, type deal.
Well, Stephanie, she works in healthcare, Bulldog. She just gets right on stuff, and it gets done.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but she just gets.
Well, that's good. It's good to have a big chip on your shoulder and a big presence when you're dealing with those people.
It's her child, so she's looking out for her child. I don't know if it's mine, but
she says it's hers, and we'll have to go with that.
I mean, it's not. I don't wish this on nobody. I mean, good grief, it's tough. But we're just adapting to it the best we can. Doing the best we can.
Okay. How's your father-in-law doing? Oh, that's another story. Hold on, let me go outside of his listening ear.
We'll have to make that a conversation for another day. I'll put it this way. I hope I'm not like that when I get to be that age.
Is he angry?
Just angry, weird. It's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. I can, but I can't right at the moment.
Okay. Well, I won't pin you down on that. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll get into that at another time. But another thing to deal with.
So everyone wants to know when you're coming back on the show.
I don't know, Travis. I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know. I told you I was having to prioritize. I think the biggest thing that's going to get me is these trips to rehab. Mm-hmm. In order for it to do her any good, she's going to have to go 3-4 days a week. Mm-hmm. So it's just just getting her out the door takes forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know.
We're going to take a quick little break and continue our conversation with Shayne.
Have you listened to the show lately or no?
Yeah, I've listened to a few of them.
Have you?
Well, I'll put it on. I haven't listened all the way through, but I've caught bits and pieces of it because it shows up on YouTube.
Right. Bitches. Well, have you seen the shows with the other guy?
Mm-hmm.
Have you? And what do you think of that guy?
I like him.
Huh?
I like him.
Do you really?
Yeah. Did you find him on Tinder or what?
Do you know who that is?
I do not.
That's the host of Murder and Coffee.
Shut up. Really?
It is.
He looks like Jelly Roll.
I don't know who Jelly Roll is. Is that the tattoo artist guy?
No, that's the big fat country singer.
Yeah.
Raps. I guess they're all covered in tattoos.
Right. Yeah, the one show I did by myself, and I was, explaining everything that was going on with you and stuff. He was like texting me, or I say texting me. He reached out to me via email. He got my email address. I don't know. It's on one of the websites or something. He found me. Oh, because we did the sponsorship and stuff for him. Mm-hmm. So he had my email address. So he wrote me this big 3-paragraph long thing. He's like, I'm sorry to hear about Shayne, hopes and prayers and all that stuff. And he's like, hey, look, I know you're doing the show by yourself. He's like, I've got this huge background. And this is like, on a Saturday afternoon. And I said,
nobody has time for that on a Saturday afternoon.
No. And I'm sitting there in the email. And I said, oh, this is interesting. And Amy's like, what? I said, the Murder and Coffee guy is reaching out. He said he'd like to fill in for Shayne when Shayne's not around, not to take your place, but just to fill in. And I said, what should I do? She's like, well, see what he can do. I go, yeah, I know, but this is, mine and Shayne's show. Well, let him know that from the start. So I said, all right, fine. So I'm texting him back, now I've got each other's phone number. I'm like going, hey, look, yeah, this is fine. We can talk later and stuff. So,
extremely.
Yeah. So I started talking to him. I'm like going, hey, look, this is, I was, a little buzz and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we can do it, and we'll see what goes on. I said, all I need you to do is come up with 3 topics, just like you. I need 3 topics of stuff that's happened to you in the last 7 days or so. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, we can do a show on Friday. I said, from 1 o'clock, like I do with you, 1 to 1:30, or 1:30 for 2 o'clock show. and he is a technical director for a private school or something like that.
I hit the button when the shooter comes in.
Right. Oh, I'm dead. So we did the first show. I did all the editing, did all the stuff, and tried to make everything sound as good as it was. And then he reaches out to me. Oh, I reach out to him on Wednesday. I'm like going, hey, are we still good for Friday? He's like, oh, I thought I was fired after last week's show. I said, no. I said, your first show with us. I said, so he's like, I'm not trying to replace Shayne. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, got it. I said, just come on the show and just be natural, please. That's all I want. So this past week's show was a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean, I am by no means any kind of radio professional, but you had to kind of walk me through what you wanted. It took a little while for me to get semi-mediocre.
Well,
the thing about it is he doesn't know you.
So anyways, I didn't know if you've listened to that. I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring that up to make sure that, you didn't think I was replacing you or anything like that. So anyways, I didn't know if you've listened to that. I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring that up to make sure that, you didn't think I was replacing you or anything like that. So.
Well, see, that's another big thing with me is scheduling, because it's so sporadic. Most of the time, I don't know about an appointment until the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Like tomorrow, I've got to take Phil off to a doctor's appointment,
mm-hmm.
and and it's not just that. It's like I've got to get him to these appointments, and I got to get him back here. Or I got to try to get back here before these nurses leave. So it's just it's such a scheduling conflict that it really drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to do it. I mean, I don't mind helping. I don't, but it's just like I got so much crap going on. I mean, it's just, and I can't tell you. There's one thing that I can't stand is, we can do the show at this time, and then we go the last minute goes, I can't make it.
Well,
do it. You get up there, you get set up, you get ready to go, and then you get a text and saying I can't do it. And that's what's been happening way too much. I just don't know where things are going.
I understand, Shayne. I just want to talk to you and say, hey, look, and you know what I'm going to do with your permission? Do you mind if I use that tomorrow, just so everyone has an update on what's going on? Huh?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, no big deal.
All right.
Just be optimistic about it, and just see where it goes.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of what I'm doing, is just seeing where all of this goes. At some point, Travis, it's got to settle down.
Right, it's got to.
Yeah, and I think it will. And a lot of it is me getting my head right, getting my head screwed on right. And, because I'm not even kidding you. It's hard to come on the show and be funny and lighthearted when you got a ton of things weighing you down.
I know, man.
So, and that's a disservice to you and the show. Honestly, that's the way I feel about it.
Well, we miss you, Shayne.
Well, I appreciate it. I miss me too.
Can you rub your balls on the phone for me just one more time before?
I already have, Dan. You didn't hear? Well, I will continue to support the show by listening, and I don't have Facebook anymore. I've deleted that shit. I'm so sick and tired of looking at people, what they ate and where they went, and Christmas parties, and
yeah.
I'm like, I'm really, really tired of it.
I'm sure. I know. I saw there was something I was looking at. Oh, not your page. Someone else's page deleted something. So, anyways, all right, Shayne. Well, it's 4:00.
Okay.
And I hope you're doing well.
Hope you're doing well as well.
Yep.
And well, we'll get it figured out.
I know we will.
Sooner or later.
I just want you to know that you're in my thoughts and your family's in my thoughts as well.
Well, I appreciate that, so yours and mine.
Yes.
Especially when I'm on the toilet. I have nothing else to do. I'm waiting on the plug.
What plug? Butt plug?
No, that first initial out there.
Oh.
The rest of it. Well, continue your drinking.
All right. Well, talk to you later.
All right. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.
At this point, it's just giving her a chance.